I want to share a little bit more about what happened yesterday on April 25th at General Conference. And so during the plenary session, there were a number of reports in the morning, and then there was a judicial council ruling that came out that said that the terms of the judicial council were mandated by the General Conference. And since the language of the discipline says a term is 8 years, and it has been 8 years since the last General Conference, that the body of General Conference needed to make a ruling of some kind about whether everyone on the Judicial Council had finished their term or not. So Jay Brim, a member of the delegation from Rio, Texas, who is also on the Judicial Committee, was recognized by the chair to make a motion for his committee to address this issue. And part of that was to make sure nobody else spoke from the floor, and it was going to be something debated from the floor without having any chance to be refined in the committee process. While Jay was speaking, a delegate from North Texas stood up to speak, and she pressed the wrong button, and so the bishop recognized her as speaking on this motion, but she was trying to extend the time of the plenary so that the original docket could be addressed. In the Daily Christian Advocate, which is the journal of annual conference, it was written that there were 4 issues that were going to be addressed as a plenary in the morning. One of those was the departure or the creation of an autonomous Methodist church in Eurasia, and another was the first step of regionalization, the first major step of regionalization. In the consent agenda for General Conference, one of the steps, the 8th step, was approved of regionalization, but originally the agenda had us, the plenary, discussing the first major step. But during the agenda meeting of the morning, that was taken off the agenda. And so when this delegate from North Texas saw that it was no longer on the agenda, she stood up and wanted to address it that morning, but she didn't quite know how. And so the bishop who was presiding at first seemed antagonistic towards her, but then helped her walk through the process. And what needed to happen was the rules needed to be suspended since the agenda had already been agreed upon. And so the body suspended the rules, and the delegate said that she didn't know quite what to do, but the people behind her said to go forward and make the motion. So they suspended the rules. They finished what Jay was motioning and sent the Judicial Council terms to the Judicial Committee. And then the rest of the original agenda came forward after the rules were suspended. And they voted on and addressed the Eurasia Autonomous Church, which was something the delegate didn't even know about. But it ended up being a very moving conversation. It was the speeches were from almost all central conferences about the issue. And then the first regionalization petition came forward. And there was some conversation about it. There were a few attempts at amendments to kind of muddy the waters and keep it from going forward, but those failed, and the petition passed. And it was a sigh of relief from many people I know in the church worldwide, that there was an overwhelming amount of support for the petition. And I just wanted to share that story. I hope that the delegate from North Texas is able to share her story more fully. She shared with me in a small group yesterday, but that it wasn't this conspiratorial moment. There wasn't this plan, okay, you're gonna say this and you're gonna say this. It was not orchestrated. It was a movement of the spirit, a movement of the times, and people were ready to step it forward. And so I'm praying and hoping for continued success in regionalization, continued success in creating the new United Methodist Church.